Many of our hymns and scriptures lift up the virtues of meekness and mildness and gentleness. I think of the Christmas hymn, Silent Night, which describes the infant Jesus as tender and mild. The hymn that prays, Gentle Shepherd, come and lead us. And in Matthew's gospel, Jesus' blessing of the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Yet when we read a story like we did today about Jacob, do you ever wonder if perhaps we're not meant to be so meek and so mild, at least not always? Yes, Jacob's night of wrestling, which St. John of the Cross has called the dark night of the soul, is anything but meek or mild or gentle. At the end of the night, he's given the name Israel, which means the one who strives with God. And the mysterious visitor tells Jacob, for you have striven with God and humans and have prevailed. Indeed, there are many examples in our scriptures of the forcefulness, the wrestling, and the determination that walking a faithful path and even the practice of prayer require. For examples of that assertive faithfulness, we might recall Moses' demand that Pharaoh let his people go, or Ruth's strategic visit to Boaz in the night, Jesus' story about that persistent widow who wouldn't go away, the day Jesus flipped the tables in the temple, or the account of Job demanding an answer from God about his family's suffering. Today's psalm also calls to mind a courtroom in which a petitioner appeals for the judge to hear their cause, listing evidence for why God should respond and vindicate them. Hear a just case, O Lord. From you let my vindication come. The path of faith, of hope and love, of mercy and justice asks us for gentle hearts, yet also calls for an energetic power, a pressing on, a relentlessness, a fortitude. In today's text from Genesis, Jacob, the birthright thief whose marriage arrangement we heard about last Sunday, has tricked his uncle out of a sizable portion of the herd and is now finally on his way back home, and he is terrified. He is terrified because for the first time since he ran away 20 years before, he will have to face his brother Esau. To add icing to the terror, he has learned that Esau is coming out to meet him along with 400 men. Jacob sends everyone else ahead, including gifts and messages, and makes camp there alone. And then he faces the longest night of his life. We have all had long nights in our lives when worry or fear, grief or regret, hospital machines, loneliness, sorrow, stress or pain have kept us awake when we should have been sleeping. The 20th century American poet Lorene Niedecker captures a slice of this in her poem, What Horror to Awake at Night. In her case, the struggle is with self-doubt and regret. She writes, what horror to awake at night and in the dimness see the light. Time is white, mosquitoes bite. I've spent my life on nothing. The thought that stings, how are you? Nothing, sitting around with something's wife. Buzz and burn is all I learn. I've spent my life on nothing. I'm pillowed and padded, pale and puffing, lifting household stuffing, carpets, dishes, benches, fishes. I've spent my life in nothing. Whatever our racing thoughts are, long nights don't always end when the sun comes up, do they? Perhaps we've also had those kind of long nights, stretches of time that were uncertain or heavy, that have lasted weeks or months or years as we tossed and turned, not in our beds, but in our souls, and paced the halls of our minds, periods of rebuilding and relearning, of mending or trudging our way through. Jacob and an unknown man wrestled from sunset until daybreak, hours upon hours, and then, even when Jacob's hip was put out of joint, Jacob still would not let go of that man. The man, whom we find out later is God or a divine representative, commands Jacob, "Let me go, for the day is breaking." But Jacob, never one to give in, answers, "No. I will not let you go unless you bless me." Both the rabbinic tradition and the patristic church tradition in the interpretation of scriptural texts saw layers of meaning, excavating above and below the surface, a plain meaning, an allegorical meaning, a moral and or comparative meaning, and a mystical or hidden meaning. I've been thinking about this story of Jacob's wrestling and its deeper meaning, or I should say meanings, plural, and what they might offer us as we journey spiritually, as we cross rivers, and as we face fears. Here is one such meaning that I see this text holding out in its hands for us. We, all of us, like Jacob, have faced and will undergo what terrifies us: illness, aging, loss, decision, change, failure, waiting, dissatisfaction, disappointment. In these turmoils and trials, what should we do? Although Jacob is not much of a moral role model, I think this lesson we should learn from him. Just as Jacob took hold of that visitor and would not let go, we too should take hold and not let go, not of a mysterious man, but we should take hold of that which we trust. That which we trust, whatever it is in our life that we know to be good. Even if everything else is in flux, take hold of that and refuse to let go. What is it in your life that you know to be good and trustworthy, that you know is worthwhile? Refuse to let go until at last the morning comes. That good thing, that trusted something of which we refuse to let go, will help guide us through even the darkest night. When we come to the other side, when we come to the other side, as in all struggle, we will carry reminders or scars with us, just as Jacob carried that limp. We will come out changed, but we will also carry with us a blessing. Perhaps you've noticed the habit of children to keep a trinket of some kind or other in their hands and not set it down. One of the preschool girls from our church used to carry a small lotion bottle with her everywhere she went. And if she lost that lotion bottle, she found another lotion bottle, and she never let it go. And another small child we've met likes to carry a piece of sidewalk chalk everywhere they go. Our Ned picks a different tiny toy each day and will look with wonder when we realize that he's managed to hold on to that same tiny animal or truck or superhero for so many hours, even though he's been down the slide and crawled through tunnels, he still has that toy. And DW has a habit of keeping whatever he was playing with in the evening under his pillow, so that when he wakes up, it's right there for him. What is that for you? What is that which you know is good for you and in your life, that which you trust? When the way is uncertain, take hold of that. Put it under your pillow in the long night and refuse to let go. Amen.